I'm back. I am back. All right, let's get my handy note. So it has been, what is the date? A month and a week? All right, so it has been a month and a week since I quit my agency job. And so I am on here today to talk about how it's going, if I regret the decision, how I feel, what I'm happy about. And I am going to tell you, I regret nothing. Zero. I regret nothing. I am so happy. I cannot even express how happy I am that I left my job and that I started my own business. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how I feel, what's going on, and yes, everything. First of all, I am not going to say that I wish I did it sooner because I think I did it at the appropriate time. There is that. But if you are watching this video and you're even thinking about taking that step, I think what I did and what my husband had me do empowered me the most. I talked about it on a previous video that my agency made me take down, so let's just start there. But I said that what I did is I drafted that email ahead of time and I let it sit in my inbox. And so when I was in a position where I was not happy, I then knew that I had the power to change that situation. And I was no longer feeling like I was the target or I was somehow not in control of the situation. I had drafted my resignation letter, I let it sit in my inbox, and then I sent it when I was ready to send it. There was an incident that made me want to send it. I sent it. I was done. End of story. Now, that being said, it kind of, took a little while to sort of get it to the point where I was totally gone, done, not working there anymore. But guess what? Now I am free. I am free. I'm a freelancer. I own my own business. I have no attachments to any prior employer. I am in a very, very, very good place right now. So what is it like? It feels a lot like being a kid again. And I would say that talking to other business owners, which I've been talking to other business owners, you just have this feeling like the world is your oyster. Now, does that mean that every day is a great day? No, it does not. There are highs and lows, but you just feel like you're a kid again and you get to be in charge and you get to choose your path forward and you get to decide what you want to do. It's not like things are being dictated for you. So that would be a huge perk. That would be something that I'm enjoying. And as always, I have a list here because I really want to stay on track and go through my list and talk about what I've been enjoying so far, aside from just the pure bliss and feeling of not working. I started working on passion project. Most people who are watching this, they didn't know me before. I am a paid search manager. I manage paid search campaigns in Google. That is what I do for a living. But prior to doing paid search, I actually was a SEO specialist. I did search engine optimization. And I'm falling back in love with that again. I think I left SEO to do paid search at a time when the industry was changing. It was a time when there was really not one single front page of Google. It was very intent-based and very person-based. And so what would happen is the first page of Google that I would see would not look like, my husband's first page. Well, he uses Bing, which is weird, but whatever. So my whole point is my first page looked different than my client's first page. And so then the client would come back and say, I don't see myself ranking. And, it was all just a lot of adjustments and hard conversations in the industry. I think at the time, people didn't understand the art of SEO writing as much. You were always trying to coach people and get them there. And they would want to hire an SEO consultant, but they would have no budget for the writers and the content creation process that it takes to actually do SEO. It was just a very, very hard time to be in the SEO industry. And when I got the opportunity to change into paid search, I made that move and I didn't look back. But now that I'm on my own, I have my own business, it is something that I'm looking back on and I'm falling back in love with that side of my skill set. I obviously have my business website. So it's thesarahsteven.com, but I now have sarahsteven.com, which is just my personal blog where I get to just be creative. That is my playground. That's my chance to practice the SEO strategies that I've been using. I get to write about what I want to write about, which frankly is technology, the technology that it takes to run my own business. I like to also talk about different lifestyle things, right? Like, what do I wear when I work from home? What do I eat? What do I drink? Like, I like to talk about just the life that I am building because it is very fabulous. I'm not going to lie. So I started that passion project, falling back in love with SEO. I also have 2 more client meetings coming up, potential client meetings. I said those are next week. Very excited about that. And then also, I am loving these thoughts, right? I think when you own your own business, you start to get back to who you truly are because you try to do what you like. At least if you're like me, where you're tired, you've been there, done that. You don't take on projects that you don't like. So it feels a lot like being a kid again. And the analogy that I give is like, oh, what do I want to do when I grow up? Like, I feel like that. Like, I know my skill sets now. I can build a website that looks decently okay, and I could talk more about this in other blog posts. I can usually build a website that stands up on its own in a day or 2. I'm very, very good at WordPress, at Squarespace. Now, both of those platforms have issues, but again, I could talk about that in another video. But that being said, I'm just enjoying sort of playing and doing those things for myself and being in control of that situation. It feels like being a kid again. I also am getting back into my hobbies. Before I started at the last agency that I was at, I used to actually lift weights all the time. I rode my Peloton. I was huge into working out. I was a 5-day-a-week worker outer. I used to get up in the morning, and I'm starting to get back into that. That has been absolutely phenomenal. I think it's just for me about reminding myself, like, yes, it is noon. It is 3:00. You can get up. You can do what you want. If you want to take the day off, just take the day off. I've treated myself to afternoon naps, the day off, reading in the middle of the day. I mean, you name it. I've treated myself to it. And it is just it's like coming home. It's like coming home. That is one thing. I also have been taking my kids to their activities more. It's 4:00. I can stop and take my kid to gymnastics. It is 4:00. I try now to make a point of when the kids walk in the door, I'm not sitting at my desk. I try to be somewhere else where they can come talk to me. I think that is super, super important for them. It's good for me. It's good for them. It just helps build that consistency. I do chores in the middle of the day. I empty the dishwasher, although I think that I did not this morning, so I'll probably do that after I film this video. I vacuum in the middle of the day when nobody's around. I just have been doing things like maybe after I finish this video, I will finish up all the laundry I have to do and just listen to an audiobook. I'm treating my job as my life, right? Like my life and doing the things that make me better at sort of what you would call revenue driving or traditional work things. Those are now my job. And it just fits way, way, way better into sort of the life that I'm trying to build for myself, which is, like I said, it's beautiful. I am also reading again. So I have 2 books. I have one that I'm reading right here that I got from the library. It's really good. It's a kid that randomly showed up at her sister's house. The sister dropped off a kid at her sister's house, and they are like, whose kid is this? It looks like her. They don't know. It's building, but it is good. So I'm reading again. And I feel like with reading, it's one of those things that for me, I have a hard time reading if my head isn't clear. And so the fact that I'm reading, not just 1 book, but 2 books at the same time. Yes, I am the type of person who can read 2 books at once. That is a sign that my mental capacity to just relax is starting to just be there. It's just, you guys, I'm telling you, I don't want to make quitting your job look so good. Just do it. Just do it. Reading again. I'm drinking a lot of matcha, and that's mostly because I'm on social media. And if you're on social media, you notice that all the girlies drink the matcha. I'm enjoying the matcha. I had some at a cute little cafe a couple weeks ago, and ever since then, I've just been craving it. So I've been drinking matcha. I have been going to the grocery store again during the day. God, such a luxury. The lines aren't long. I can get what I want. Along those lines, I cannot believe this made it to the list, but it is the reality when you're not stressed that I am actually eating more vegetables and drinking less. I just am starting to make the priority of taking care of myself. And when I was so busy, what I was doing is I would just run into the kitchen and just grab a handful of pretzels or eat a piece of pizza or, just something that just wasn't necessarily the best choice because I just didn't have the capacity to just cut up a green pepper or, make myself a salad or heat up some vegetable soup. Like, it just wasn't happening. I was like just shoving something in my mouth or just not eating, even worse. And just being able to just eat healthy again and just do the parts of myself that feel good, which I guess I said earlier. I'm building a feel good business. Like, having fun. I'm losing track of the days and the weeks. So I don't know how long I've been doing this. I think I said like 1 month and 1 day, but I think it's fun. I also I said living the life of my dreams, but I said that numerous times. Creating new routines and more routines. So just making sure that I like do my face routine and that I put on my makeup and that I, take a shower and put on, usually it's something comfy. I'm not going to lie. Like, a clean sweatsuit that is like distinctly different than my pajamas, but just doing those types of daily care activities to just stay feeling good about myself versus like not showering for 4 days. Not that ever happened when I was really overwhelmed. Gross. Walking outside more, although the minute it starts to get cold and gross, I will not be doing that, but just taking walks around the neighborhood, waking up when I want to. I never set an alarm, but that has been, again, another huge perk. It's just letting my body do what my body wants to do and enjoying it. And then also, speaking of letting my body do what it wants to do and waking up at whatever time, I actually work now whenever I feel like it. I've been working like in the early mornings. That's when I'm most productive. And then I take the whole afternoon off, or, Saturday or Sunday during the day, I'll be in my office getting work done. But again, it's just, that's when my brain wants to work. That's when I work. And then I just take whole afternoons or whole days off. Like, I do what I want to do at the time that I want to do it, and then that's best for everyone, but mostly myself. Then I put this on here, and it's kind of along the same lines as taking time when I need it, right? So there's sometimes I just don't feel like doing anything, so then I don't do anything. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to sit on Zoom calls or Teams calls all day. I just do what I want when I want to. It's beautiful. I own my life. Also, just really taking the time to plan for the future. So I feel like everything I'm saying in here is like, oh, I'm like a kid again. I just take the days off and I, take care of myself and do my skincare. And my job is just to, do me, but I do still take time to plan and do business things and think about the future. I am still blogging. I am still teaching. I am still doing what brings in the money for me. And all that being said, to wrap this up, because I don't want to go on too long, this has been the best choice for me. It is something that I would do over again. I have zero regrets. I highly, highly recommend, if you were on the fence, if you're thinking about quitting your job, if you're thinking now is the time to try something where you just put yourself first and follow your dreams, if you have the money to do it and the space to do it and you're feeling at all burned out, go for it. It's I think that fear of uncertainty can be strong, but it's something will happen and you can make ends meet. Like, you could work at I would work at Target if I had to survive, but I am lucky enough to not be in that place, and I have a skill that is strong enough that I can get a little bit of business. So in conclusion, so happy. I'm glad you stayed with me. If you want to hear more about this type of thing, freelancing, and everything that I experience in this process, by all means, stick around, subscribe. If not, I really don't care. If you're not ready for that relationship, fine. If this is the first time you're seeing this, fine, whatever. But just putting it out there. Hopefully it helped anyone on the fence. And I hope to make more videos like this in the future. Thumbnail.